Welcome to the Visual Communication Multimedia 122 class. My name is Michael Peterson and I will be your instructor for this course. To begin with, the question that most of my students ask is, what is this class? Now there's the official answer, which you found in the course outline or the course catalog, and then there's my answer. So let's start with the college's answer for what this class is. So the official answer is, this is a project-based course designed to further develop skills in the use of bitmap and vector media design software applications. Emphasis is placed on producing conceptual media elements for a diverse range of applications. This course is intended for multimedia, art, and graphic design students who plan to pursue a career in the multimedia industry. Whew, that is a lot of words without really communicating what it is that this class is about. So we've got words like bitmap and vector. So if you're familiar with the software, bitmap would be like Photoshop. Vector is more Illustrator and InDesign, but it doesn't really say a lot. So let me really tell you what we're going to be doing in this class and what visual communication means to me. So my actual answer is to start with, this class is all about learning how to visually say something and how to make stuff look good. So the way that we do that is you're going to learn about design principles. These are essentially rules to follow to make stuff look good. We're going to be learning about color theory, which is how to make stuff look good in color. You're going to be learning about typography, which is learning about how to make text and writing look good. And you're going to be learning about layout, which is how to pull all of it together to make it look good. And then we're going to talk about design thinking and analysis. So we're going to be doing brainstorming and looking at all of these wonderful visual things that are out there and analyze what works and what could be better. So that's what the visual communication class is going to be. So this class is going to combine both software and graphic design together to give you some exposure to how to make things look good. All right, so what is design and why does it actually matter? Well, essentially at its core, design is everywhere. And as you can see, the art of design is essentially to make complicated things simple. Really good design is invisible. It shouldn't necessarily be noticeable. The communication that you're putting across should not be that noticeable based on what you've designed. Graphic design also is about taking information and making it less boring, figuring out a way to get your message communicated to whoever it is that you're trying to communicate to. And then if you're a little bit more competitive, you can have something like this. Really good design is really about making other designers feel like idiots because that idea that you came up with wasn't theirs. So, with that in mind, these are some of the fields that graphic design touches on, and a lot of the things that you'll learn in visual communication will be applicable. So, we can start with just standard graphic design, which is really a broad term, but the primary thing most people think of is, oh, you do logos, or you make business cards. Yeah, that's part of it. But then you also can work on branding, having things like clothing brands or things for full cities. How do you communicate an image and a feeling to somebody through graphical means? You could do poster design. A lot of different ways to be able to do posters, from movies to politics to just any kind of music event or whatever it is that you're trying to get people a message across to them or have people come to you. We can go into type design, learning about how to take all of these incredible fonts and different things with typography and be able to have personality and quirks and things pop out based on the text that you use. There's fashion design that incorporates a lot of these principles of visual communication. Same thing with furniture design. There's a ton of overlap in all of these areas. Automotive design, industrial design, going into package design, setting things up for product design and how you lay out the user interface, going into web design, setting up character design for movies or for games, and then getting into game development, as well as production design. So there's a tremendous area of applications of these visual communication skills that are not specifically related to one form of software or one area that you would apply this. So we're going to be learning a lot about design principles, and this is a brief overview. I have a video, actually 2 videos that you're going to watch this week that are about 6 minutes or so a piece that give you some basic ideas of how this can be applied, but we'll be diving much, much deeper over the course of the next few weeks as we start to learn about terminology and learn about concepts and theory, and then actually build things using the different applications and software that we're going to work with. So, to begin with, we're going to cover a lot of elements and principles of design. If you've taken art classes, you may have heard about line and shape and value. But if you haven't, this will be new information for you. So we'll be presenting that. Also going to be getting into the color theory for print as well as web and video-based displays. So we talk about the differences, both the pros and cons, how to combine colors together. Some people have an innate sense of color theory. They can merge colors together. Other people, honestly, look like you dress in the dark, nothing matches. So we'll talk about how to do that and how to evoke emotions and some of the psychology behind color. In addition to that, this area, oh my gosh, I've taught entire semesters on just topography. There is so much that you can possibly learn, because one of the key ways that you communicate visually is through words. So being able to actually take the words and make them have an emotional feel is incredibly powerful. It comes down to sometimes being very nitpicky, but that nitpickiness is what's going to elevate your designs, and it's also going to make you look and be more professional. In addition to that, we'll talk about layout, whether it's print layout, whether it's for magazines, whether it's for billboards, whether it's for video game UI and menuing development, whether it's for web design. We're going to talk about how to put things together and pull the graphics, the text, and what you're trying to communicate all into one place. We'll also get into design thinking, the idea of how do you actually figure out what problem you're trying to solve. Are you trying to sell something? Are you trying to get somebody to come somewhere? Are you trying to get somebody to join what you're doing? Are you trying to get somebody to understand how to play a game? What is it you're going to do? And we'll talk through several different methodologies to do that. We'll also get into brainstorming and different ways to generate ideas and then to be able to test those ideas out. We're going to be focusing on some software as well. Now, I know the community college has changed their sequencing of these classes. In the past, we had one class that was on Photoshop, one class that was on Illustrator, and there was more of a heavy emphasis on just software. Now we're transitioning to visual communication, and we're going to eventually, starting next semester, have a visual communication 1, visual communication intermediate, and visual communication advanced. Now, since we're in this transition period, there's going to be quite a few people who have not taken 1 or 2 of those classes, possibly even all 3. So we'll talk about that in a little bit more detail. So if you're not as fluent in these next 3 software applications, don't worry about it. We'll figure out. I'm trying to customize the course to meet you where you're at, or at least where the majority of the class is, and I'll provide supports and stuff in place. So we're going to be focusing primarily on 3 different software applications in addition to the design principles. The first software application we're going to work with is Adobe Illustrator. That's going to allow you to do primarily things with drawing. Don't worry if you can't draw. We're going to be working through that. Doing logo design and doing anything that needs to be really scalable. In fact, Illustrator can often be used to create vector drawings that can be immediately imported into Adobe Animate and allows you to animate things. We're going to also be using Photoshop to be compiling images and showing you how to make selections and use some of the really advanced photo manipulation features that are built within Photoshop. And then we'll be using InDesign. InDesign is a page layout program, and it's similar to Word, but it's like Word on steroids. It allows you to do so much, and it's incredibly powerful. Each one of these applications are industry standard, so you're not going to become experts by taking this class in all 3 of those applications, but my goal is to give you some foundational knowledge and give you some resources so that if you find you really gravitate towards 1 or 2 of these applications, you can really dig deeper. So definitely as we go throughout the semester, if you're finding that your skills are not up as high as you'd like them to be and you need additional support, let me know and I'll give you some resources and I'll point you in some directions that if you want to spend some time outside of class really learning deeper on some of these things, I can help you along the way. So those are the key things that we're going to be focusing on, and we'll be developing projects and different things as we go out throughout the semester, but I need to cover some of the things that we're going to learn and how to actually work with the Canvas online portal. This is brand new this semester. It was actually piloted over the summer, but this is the first time that I'm going to be teaching using Canvas instead of Blackboard. So I'm sure there's going to be some kinks that are going to need to be worked out. So if you find that some links are missing or some resources that I've said are online aren't there, please let me know so I can kind of take a look at that. I'm kind of in the same boat as you. I'm learning this particular software learning management system kind of along with you. So I'm excited to work with you. In just a moment, I will show you some of the things things in Canvas, show you what it is that I want you to work on for this week, and we'll go on from there. So this is the interface of Canvas for our particular class, for the 122 class. To begin with, on the left-hand side here, we have the Home button. This is where you're going to have what's happening for the particular week. The next area that you're going to work a lot with is modules. So for this first week, what I want you to do is take a look at the syllabus. You can access the syllabus here, or you can access the syllabus by clicking on the menu. So I'm going to click on that just to show you. I'm not going to go through and read this entire thing to you. You can do that on your own, but I want to point out some of the key things. So to begin with, these are the core objectives. But once again, this is definitely more college speak, which doesn't always clearly indicate what is it that you're really going to learn in the class. So if you ever have questions, just ask. Now, there's some district policies here, so if you need support services or anything, you can check out this particular office. The academic integrity policy can basically be summed up as, hey, don't cheat. The student code of conduct, don't really expect this to be a real issue, especially with an online class. But then this part right here, definitely pay attention to the important dates. The semester, when it starts, when you're able to drop the class without a W, when you can drop, the latest you can drop the class and receive a W. So it's up to you to make sure that you follow those deadlines. Now, the course textbook and software requirements. Let's talk about these. Well, to begin with, there's no textbook for this class. I'm going to be giving you PDF files, readings and stuff that you'll do online, and a lot more hands-on stuff that you'll be doing. I do, however, have an exhaustive library of books, because I love actual physical books to hold. So if there are things, if you're like me and you want to actually have some books to use and you're interested in seeing what else is out there that I'd recommend, just ask me, and I'm sure I have some recommendations that I can give you to go off and decide whatever area of visual communication you're most interested in, you can do that. So just let me know. As far as the software, if you haven't already purchased a subscription to the Adobe Creative Cloud, that's the Adobe CC, you're going to need to do that. Now, this first week, you're going to be filling out a survey and you're going to be entering in a discussion board post. That's it. So there's no need for you to have the software day one. You will need to have the software starting on the second week, because I'm going to have you starting to slowly compile and build some things. So you will need to have access to that. Now, if money is an issue, I totally get that. There is a discounted rate for students, but even with that, it's still $20 a month. That will be something that you'll have to figure out. But if you're waiting for financial aid or something, there is a 7-day free trial for the software. What I would recommend is don't start that trial today. Wait until next Monday, that's the 25th, then start the trial. That way you've got an additional week to be able to work on the materials for the week before you have to actually purchase the software. So let me know if you run into issues with that. I can't give you access to the software. The college does have a lab, but it's just up to you to figure out how are you going to be able to get this software. So you'll need that. The other thing that you'll need is this software. It's a plugin and it's free. Using Adobe Chrome as your browser, you can download this thing called Screencastify. Screencastify, let me pop this open and I'll show you, is a plugin that you can add to Chrome that will allow you to record your computer screen just like I am, and when you set up a microphone with it or a headset that has a mic attached to it, you can actually narrate over the screen just like I'm doing. I'm going to be asking throughout the course of the semester that all students go through periodically, and I'll have you actually present, big air quotes here that you can't see that I'm putting my hands up for some reason, and you'll actually record and talk about what you designed, or talk about what your brainstorming session was, or talk about what your review was of somebody else's material by using this software. This software is free. Now, there is a paid version. If you want to buy that, you can get unlimited videos, unlimited time. I think it's $24 for the year. But for the free version, you can actually record up to 50 videos per month at a maximum of 10 minutes per video. So it should be plenty for what we're going to do. You don't have to turn on the visual where you see your face. If you don't want that, that's fine. But I do think it's important for you to be able to explain your thought process, as well as use this to critique or review other design material that's out there. So this will be a great way for us to be able to communicate, because sometimes in writing, it's not that easy to explain stuff. It's much easier to point things out and say, see, look at this, see how this is different from that? That's what I'm going to be looking for. So you'll want to get a version of Screencastify, or if you have another program that will allow you to capture your screen and allow you to narrate and you can share that, I'll definitely work with you, so let me know. So that's this first piece. All right, let's take a look at a few more things here, and then I'll show you what you're going to be doing for the week. Here's some basic information about the hardware and software. There's links on there. Like I said, if there's any links that are ever broken, please just give me a heads up and I'll get that fixed as quick as possible. Porting the stuff over from Blackboard to here was not a smooth process, so let me know. Here's a basic outline of the course topics. We're not going to cover every single one of these in exhaustive detail, but this is kind of an overview of the types of things that you could work with. If there's ever something that's in here that you're like, hey, we didn't cover that, I'd really like to know how to do it, let me know. I've got plenty of resources. I've been teaching for between freelance design work and teaching. I've been doing this for over 20 years, so I've got a lot of resources and have a lot of experience in this area, so just reach out and talk to me. Now, as far as the course, I briefly mentioned earlier that the district and the department has made a big shift from the individual communication, from just having individual classes in Photoshop and Illustrator. So we're kind of in this transition period that's creating kind of a challenge for me to decide what some students are going to be coming in with some software experience, others are going to be coming in with no software experience. So I'm going to have you fill out a survey and answer it honestly, because I want to find out where most of you are at so I can kind of make some adjustments and see how things are going to go. So rather than telling you about the exact specific project that we're going to work on, I'm going to wait on that to see kind of where we're at and make adjustments based on where you're at, so that you're not penalized for the fact that we're shifting things into intermediate and you haven't taken the intro class. So with that being said, we are going to cover 3 primary components. The first one is going to be definitely learning or augmenting your foundational software knowledge and giving you some practice, whether it's through short exercises, a tutorial, or a longer project. You're going to be getting a chance to kind of work with these things, and as always, if there's something that you're having a problem with, hit me up early and I'll get you some resources. I'll point you in a certain direction and see if I can find a way to help you in that area. So first part, software. Second part's the graphic design and visual communication. We're going to primarily be doing that through short lectures, through some videos that I'll have you watch, some tutorials. We'll have discussion board posts here and there. We'll be talking about the design theory and color theory and all of that stuff, regardless of what area you're going to eventually utilize this in, whether it's print, web, graphic design, doing it on video games, doing AR, whatever you're going to use it in. You're going to find that there's pieces of these foundational knowledge things that will be really useful down the road. And then you'll be presenting. The presenting part primarily is the Screencastify piece, where you're going to be showing off your work and explaining what you did. And then we'll be doing some critiques, and you'll actually give feedback to other students. I think this will be a great way for you to be able to show what you know, or see what other people have done. By being able to put it into words, it's really, really useful, and evaluating other people's work, or at least critiquing other work and seeing how it could be enhanced, or giving them ideas, I think is incredibly valuable, not just for them, but also for you as the person that's giving the feedback. So that'll be a component for the class. As far as the grading, all of the assignments, unless otherwise noted, will be due by 11:59 on Sunday. So you'll have the learning modules released on a Monday. You'll have the full week, and that following Sunday night, you want to turn stuff in. Now, please don't wait until the very last minute on Sunday to contact me, because I won't be able to help you. I usually have a cutoff of about 6 o'clock on Sunday nights on when I'll actually check my email. I also teach at a high school, and I work there full-time during the day, and I teach several classes in the evenings, so I go to bed early because my day starts usually most days about 6 o'clock. So don't wait until the last second to try to submit, because that's usually when the computers break, that's when a network problem happens, so kind of plan accordingly. So with that being said, let me jump straight into the module, and I'm almost done talking and getting ready to let you loose for the first week. So right here in the Canvas dashboard, you'll see on week 1, for the module, the main thing that you're going to be doing is this. The modules will be released on each Monday when they come out. So for week 1, this is what you're going to be working on. You're going to go through and make sure, read the syllabus, see if you have any questions on it. You're going to watch this 6-minute video that shows off the general areas of graphic design and how things are used. It's a fast-paced video. I think it'll be a good foundation for you as we go throughout the year. Also, you'll be looking at this beginning graphic design that starts talking about some of these smaller elements within graphic design that we'll build on. So there'll be some repetitive things as we go along throughout the year, but I think that repetition is going to help make it sink in. But here's the 2 pieces that are the most important. 2 pieces that are absolutely vital is I need you to complete this survey. This survey is going to give me some basic information about who are you, what are you interested in, why are you taking the class, and then also you're going to do a self-evaluation of where are you at in this software and your skills with these 3 applications, Photoshop, Illustrator, and InDesign. I want to know, honestly, if you've never touched the program or if you've opened it but really haven't made anything, that's okay. Let me know. I just want to see where most of you are at so I know where to focus the majority of the instruction. Also, if you've designed some work using Photoshop, InDesign, or Illustrator, I want you to submit 2 to 5 JPEGs of work that you've done, whether it was at the community college or whether it was just personal, or I know some students that may have taken some design classes in high school. You can show some of that work. I'm not going to be evaluating it. I just want to kind of see where you're at, what you've done, and what kind of things you've created. So you'll be uploading in that survey, there's a spot in the Google form, to upload 2 to 5 images. They have to be 10 megabytes or less, or it won't work, and it has to be in JPEG format, so you have to export it or convert it to JPEG. If you have nothing, then, and you've never taken any classes, then I don't expect you to have something there. But if you've done it, give it to me. It's just going to go to me. It's not going to go out to anybody else. It's just me. I just want to kind of see what kind of work you've done. So if you have questions on that, let me know. But that survey, vital. Really need you to fill that out. And then the second piece is a discussion board post. What I'd like you to do here is online classes are difficult to create community, and I'm not going to really heavily force it down people's throats, but I do want you to introduce yourself and kind of explain and tell us a little bit about yourself. Because you will be giving feedback to other students periodically throughout the course of the year. So it sometimes helps if they know a little bit about you and what it is, what your experience is, what you're hoping to learn. I've got a list of things you can include, but include as much as you want in here. And I want to be able to see each person's unique perspective on how you got here and then where we're going to go throughout the course of the year. So I'm really excited to work with you this semester, and I can't wait to see the kind of stuff that we design. So please take the time this week and fill out that survey. Like today would be fantastic, so that I know kind of what to plan for as far as how deep we're going to get into software tutorials versus building projects. So if you have any questions, please feel free to contact me. The best way to do that is to message me through the Canvas board. If you don't do that, you can always email me. That one's sometimes a little trickier. I get about 100 emails a day. It's insane. Our district spams us like crazy. So sometimes I'll miss stuff. Usually I respond within the first 24 hours, so I'll do the best that I can. But if it's early on, you haven't heard from me, try messaging me. That's usually the best bet through here. So, like I said, I'm excited to work with you, and if you have any questions, feel free to contact me.